The following is an exclusive presentation of WI Garden Media, the voice of Garden Talk Radio. Coming up on the program today, we're going to discuss trees that are not good for your backyard, as well as winter crock pot dishes, vegan, vegetarian, and traditional. Our guest is author Marcus Bridgewater will be with us, and we'll answer your garden questions. The hour's full, so join us.
You are listening to the most informationally packed hour of garden-focused radio in the country and on the internet with your host, husband and wife team Joey and Holly Baird. This is the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
And welcome to another edition of the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. Happy to have you around. I'm your host, Joey Baird. Beside me is my wife, co-host, best friend, and gardening partner,
Holly Baird.
This program is for you, about you, to help your garden grow better, to maintain your landscape, grow healthier trees, make your grass look greener, as well as preserving what you grow. Happy you're tuning in, whether you're listening to us on one of the 20 AM and FM frequencies, broadcasting our program here in 2025 through a radio app, through our parent website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, underneath the Season 9 tab at the top of the page. Podcast replay or in-studio video replay. Thank you so much for consuming the program. You want to be part of the program, you can certainly do such by sending us an email to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Or you can give us a call toll-free, coast-to-coast, 24/7, 365. That number is 1-800-927-SHOW, 1-800-927-7469. Before we get in the program, Holly, it's time for this week's Joke of the Week.
Okay. Why did the chicken cross the playground?
It has to... Why... To get to the corn?
To get to the other slide.
Oh, the other slide. Okay.
This week's garden joke is brought to you by Rescue.com. American-made rescue products keep your family, home, and yard protected from pests such as wasps, hornets, yellow jackets, flies, ants, and more. Learn more at Rescue.com. That's RESCUE.com.
You ever seen a chicken go down a slide? I've seen ducks kind of go down a little slide. Never a chicken. No?
I think it's just like ducks that do that.
I'm sure if we would go on the internet, there would be something.
Probably.
Everything, yeah. All right. Well, trees are a feature of many backyards. It's a great item to have to keep the house cool, birds, wildlife. But there's a handful of them that you probably shouldn't be planting in your backyard for a variety of reasons, and we'll go over such. So we're just not saying, well, this and this and this, and have a good day.
I forgot to add this to the list, I think. What's the one that puts out the juglong? Is that the...
black walnut.
Black walnut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't add this to the list, and I just thought of it. But yeah, black walnut, it's not a bad backyard tree, but what happens is it releases this chemical, basically.
Natural chemical.
And it makes it harder for you to grow vegetables in the ground, especially tomatoes.
Pretty much anything.
Very limited. So
it releases it in the soil to protect it, to make sure it's healthy, and it keeps other plants at bay. All right. Bradford pear is one of these items. It's prone to structure failure and disease.
Yeah, so when you are thinking about planting a tree in your backyard, you want to make sure that you are getting something that's going to make sense. It's not going to have structure failure.
Technically outlive you.
You want it to outlive you. Maybe like a root situation, something like juglong that's going to prevent you from growing vegetables if you want to in the ground. I mean, you can obviously still grow raised beds or whatever. Bradford pears.
And it does produce a pear.
Yeah, it does.
But
maybe it's more for like an orchard.
Right.
Yeah, where you don't have to worry about when you're putting a tree in your backyard. You want it to be there a long time. It's like an investment. It's also like a landscape investment.
It's an investment to the house, and it can be a luxury item in order to add different characteristics to the property. And if you have a porch, it's nice to set out on the porch under a shade tree instead of baking in a field in a chair.
Mm-hmm. So weeping willow, this has
these are pretty trees, beautiful trees.
Pretty trees, but they They're better off in a field far away from your home.
Why is
or
that?
like away from your home. They have very invasive roots, which can cause foundation problems and also septic system problems. And
the septic system.
Yeah. So
Rod Child Susan sucking septic systems.
Okay, red green. So they're very pretty though, like especially when you see them
nice by lakefront.
Yeah. But that's because they're away from a house. Right. The roots can cause problems not under your foundation.
Silver maple grows too fast and often has a problematic lifespan.
So they are prone to branches breaking. They're not as strong as like a sugar maple.
And generally, maples in the whole sense of tree, arborist stuff, is a very, very fast-growing tree.
Yes. So silver maple are also fast-growing, but they're prone to more breakages, and they are prone to more disease than other maple trees like sugar maples. So it's something to keep in mind. But at one time, they were very popular. I don't remember why, but they're very popular as opposed to a sugar maple, and they were growing among municipalities. Maybe they got a good deal on them. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so silver maple can be a problem. So if you are going to grow a maple tree, did I say silver or sugar? You want to get like a sugar maple, or that tends to be a better variety that's going to grow better for you. My mom has a silver maple in her backyard, I think, right?
Right.
Yeah, and it's kind of broken apart, and
it is going to be taken down.
Yeah, it's not.
And a lot of times when you take these trees down, number one, if you're doing it, make sure you're doing it correctly. Number two, it's cheaper to hire somebody than to deal with insurance and hospital. But here, give you a reference here. An oak tree per year will grow about 13 to 24 inches. Okay. A silver maple will grow anywhere from 3 to 7 feet a year.
That's crazy. That is fast. All right. So ash trees are, because of the emerald ash borer, that's the major reason why you would not want to plant an ash tree. Now, if you have an ash tree growing, that's fine. There's no real problem with the tree itself. It's the pest.
And it will eventually come to, it's going to happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to succumb to the emerald ash borer. Womp womp. So I have one that I probably...
And the emerald ash borer is pretty much every part of, let's say, half the eastern part of Texas, most of Oklahoma, Nebraska, Kansas, all the way into Colorado, Montana, up into the Canadian provinces and east is where the emerald ash borer is found, and it's starting to progress its way towards the west. So if you are taking a tree down, be sure that you know what you're going to do with that wood. Are you going to burn it on location? If you grind it up, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe that makes it no longer viable. The emerald ash borer, it kills it and it goes away, and you don't have to worry about the transportation or the reintroduction.
If you grind it up?
If you grind like a wood chipper.
Yeah. But if you just take like firewood and you move it from place to place.
Grandma needs some firewood. We'll just take it across the county. That's a bad thing.
Across the state, across the county.
And I know what that's just silly. It's everywhere. Well, it's because people have done it before, and that's kind of why we're in the situation we're in. There are certain departments in townships and states and governments that actually have common sense and know that there are certain things that shouldn't be done because it can be detrimental 3, 5, 10 years down the road in this type of situation with nature.
Right.
What's next one?
So we have the Chinese tallow tree. It's very invasive. It outcompetes native plants and anything that is invasive. So it's just smart to keep that away from close to your home, close to, something that is going to choke out something else.
Now, this is typically a tree that will grow in zones 8 through 10, and 11. So for most of the country, this is not really a problematic issue. However, there are people that are able to and do find great joy into growing tropical plants in non-tropical locations. So that is information that needs to be shared. Right.
So then the mulberry tree, it has really messy fruit, and while it can be a high pollen producer, so you would want to, if you were for some reason to grow these trees, maybe to grow 2 so you could have balance out that pollen. And then its roots can crack pavement. So, if you have a driveway or something, right, maybe not something you want is the roots to go out there and crack the pavement.
So let's do some considerations when choosing a tree. You want to look at how invasive the roots are, check the tree for potential root system issues, like the willow tree, the aggressiveness of the roots.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that in your septic system or wherever it may go. How susceptible it is to disease, so something like, or pests or whatever, just like the emerald ash borer and the ash trees. You want to make sure that you're not going to have those problems.
And what kind of pollen it emits. Are you allergic to it? Because it's nice to have a pretty tree, but if you can't breathe between April and May, kind of difficult to enjoy out the outdoors.
What's the other one? Is it like cottonwood or something?
That's one of them.
Yeah, that has that stuff that floats through the air.
Yes, that's cottonwood. Yep.
Yeah, and then I think, is it oak trees? No, I don't know. But there is another high allergen tree, but I know it's definitely cottonwood. And obviously the mulberry and ash trees can also produce a lot of pollen, and that is not fun if it's right in your backyard and you have seasonal allergies and you're trying to have a good time and the tree is not allowing you to. No fun.
Nope, not at all. So, we are brought to you by WaltonsInc.com.
Yeah, we know you care about where your food comes from. At Waltons, you can get all the equipment, seasoning, supplies to make sausage, turkey, and any other meat product your way to your high standards. They also have anything to help you make the best finished product with meat, which includes a full line of their meat grinders, mixers, sausage stuffers, and more to help you go from animal to edible. Walton's everything but the meat. You can use code GROW50, that's GROW50, to save 10% off orders of $50 or more.
When we return, we're going to talk about winter crock pot dishes. Well, they can be done any time of year. Vegetarian, vegan, and traditional. You're tuned in to the Garden with Joey and Holly radio show.
Have a garden question? Give Joey and Holly a call now or anytime 24/7. Just dial 1-800-927-SHOW. If you can't get through, leave a message and they will call you back. Call now, 1-800-927-SHOW.
Azure Standard is America's premier family-owned online store for organic foods and healthy products for your home and garden. They deliver directly to families and commercial customers through over 3,500 drop points across all 50 states. Azure Standard strives to make grocery shopping easy, bringing all your needs to one convenient pickup location. As a trusted national health food distributor, Azure Standard offers bulk and specialty health foods to communities nationwide. With over 12,000 products, each one is approved and carefully sampled to ensure the highest quality. Azure Standard holds firm to non-GMO, organic, and natural standards. From food and beauty products to household items, nutritional supplements, animal care, hobby supplies, and even garden essentials, Azure Standard truly has everything for your daily living. Visit AzureStandard.com, that's AZURE Standard.com. Use promo code Joey and Holly 15 at checkout to get 15% off for new customers who open an account for the first time and place a minimum order of $100 or more, shipped to a drop location of your choice. That's code Joey and Holly 15 at AzureStandard.com. Azure Standard is AZURE Standard.com.
Jung Seed Company is a family-owned and operated gardening company since 1907 with the largest selection of seeds and plants online. Use coupon code 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at jungseed.com. That coupon code is 15TG25 to save 15% off your order at jungseed.com.
R.H. Shumway is a family-owned and operated gardening company with a large selection of seeds and plants online. You can use code 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at rhshumway.com. That's code 15TG25. Garden like a pro in 3 easy steps and receive customized fertilizer recommendations for your garden or lawn. Soil Savvy helps you determine what nutrients your plants need to thrive. Never again over-apply nutrients they don't need. A patented process that makes you a smart gardener. To get your soil test kit, go to mysoilsavvy.com.
Do you have nuts or fruit in your yard? A Nut Wizard is a handy, effective tool that will pick up round or oval tree produce quickly and easily, leaving debris behind for a clean harvest. A Nut Wizard tool saves your back and your time. Visit nutwizard.com for more information. Wisconsin Greenhouse Company has custom-made greenhouses to suit your needs. Grow year-round. Strongest greenhouses that will last a lifetime. From agricultural to lounging to entertaining. For more information, go to wisconsingreenhousecompany.com. Welcome back to the Garden with Joe and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. Want to find more information out about those coupon codes and all the companies that support us? You can find that out at our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, under the Money tab at the top of the page, and the Season Radio 9 tab at the top of the page as well. Crockpot dishes, Holly, that we can make pretty much all year round, but we're going to focus on some winter dishes.
Yeah, winter, fall, whatever, as some people, as we transition into fall or are into fall, people get kind of in the mood for crockpot stuff like soups or whatever, and then you kind of get into that cozy feeling as the days get shorter and nights kind of creep up on you. So here's some good ideas for what you can make. A lot of soups and stuff are very hearty in the crock pot, and a lot of these you can look for either recipes for whether you need vegan, traditional, vegetarian. You can, do modifications, whatever. So the first one is chili, and I know that seems obvious to a lot of people, but I've learned that some people don't know that you can make chili in the crock pot, or don't think about it. And also there's so many variations. Like you could do like a beef chili, you could do a vegetarian chili, you could do a chicken chili, you could do a venison chili. So there's different ways to make chili, and you can do with beans, without beans. You can do just black beans. You can add some corn. You can add different types of meat. You can do a lot of different things. So chili is definitely an option. You can add peppers. Like we have a friend who doesn't like beans, so she adds a lot of peppers.
Yep, and substitutes the beans for the peppers.
Yeah.
And calls it rainbow chili.
Rainbow chili. There we go. And then, so different soups that are kind of within the same line are like tortilla soup, taco soup, cheeseburger soup, lasagna soup. These all have some sort of like a tomato-y base with or like a beefy base, like the cheeseburger soup I think is like a beefy base. And then with some sort of meat, and either you have it with a pasta situation or like tortilla soup, taco soup. People will often like crush tortilla chips and put those on top. They're always good with cheese, etc.
Well, like the cheeseburger soup, you can add potatoes as kind of one of the ingredients.
Yeah.
It's not, it's ham, ground meat, potatoes, carrots, cheese, onions, different type, it's dried basil, parsley flakes. You can do a lot of things in order to do that, and your flour is kind of your and you make with broth.
Thicken it.
You thicken it, yeah.
Yeah, with the flour. You don't have to thicken it with the flour, but you can. It's an option. And lasagna soup, I've made that before, and it's kind of fun. It's like a different variation of a pasta soup. Now,
there are every different conceivable size of crock pot available that you can purchase. You probably have more crock pots than you know what to do with. I think we've got 3 to 5, somewhere in that range, from very tiny, like 1 quart, to 6, what's the big one, like 7 quart, the big square one?
Oh, yeah, I forgot that we have that small one. Yeah, so there are different sizes. Now,
here's what I'm getting at here. If you've got the time and the size, you've got a big crock pot, there's nothing wrong with making the dish for the family and making way more than what's going to be consumed, and then freezing it so it's easy to bring it out, warm it up, boom, you're done, whether it's in the microwave or throw it in a pot on the stove, whatever. And the cooking is already done. You're just in warm-up stage at that point.
Right. There's also soups like, like beef barley, etc. Some of those are okay in the crock pot for shorter periods of time, but barley cooks very quickly. So that's something that maybe you would bring if you were left this on while you were out, and then you would come home and put that barley in after it's been cooking for a while.
And you brought that up. There's still people that don't work from home. There's a lot of
right, or like on a weekend or
right,
something.
Yeah, you can set it and forget it. The old Ron Papil motto for his...
yes.
Yeah.
So one thing I like to do...
And be sure you either set it and know what it is, either warm, medium, or low or hot.
Right.
High, because high will cook like 3 times quicker.
Yeah.
And you want to be careful that you don't come home to bad things.
Right. You don't want to burn your soup or dish or whatever.
House.
So minestrone is a traditionally more of a vegetarian soup because it's made with beans and like a tomatoey broth. So that's something that anybody can enjoy, and it's easy to make on the stove, but it's even easier to kind of dump into the crock pot. So you can use like the broth, you would use the beans, and then that is another one where if you add the pasta, you don't want to add it too quickly because you don't want to overcook your pasta. Nobody wants mushy pasta. One of my favorite things is to make called chicken tacos, and this is like super easy. You just take about 1.5 pounds of skinless, boneless chicken, whether that be like chicken breast or chicken thighs, and then you dump in you can do 16 to 24 ounces of your favorite salsa, and then you just do 2 cans of beans, whatever your beans you like, and then you have this. It can be a chili in a way, but it's also good as tacos. If you don't want beans in your tacos, then don't add the beans. And then you just let it sit, and then you use it to make tacos.
16 bean soup. There's a lot of different beans out there.
You want that 16 bean soup?
There's a lot of beans.
Yeah. So anyway, then you can also make chicken fajitas in a very similar manner.
Now, you've done this. You've done the chicken fajitas.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
And I've done the chicken tacos.
Yes.
Yeah, or like sometimes we eat it as chili, whatever.
Now chicken taco. People will say fish tacos, but the fish in a crock pot probably would not.
I don't think you would enjoy that
because it would just kind of fall apart to nothing.
Right. That would not be good.
Right. I'm just saying. You can do beef tacos and pork tacos. I'm sure there's lamb tacos, and then there's vegetarian tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are usually with like beans.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or jackfruit is another one, but you don't want. I don't think you would cook jackfruit in your slow cooker. Anyway, so then we have what are called swamp potatoes, which I have made. I like them. You take those small potatoes, or new potatoes, whatever they're called.
I call them baby potatoes. They're the size of golf balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you add green beans. You can add mushrooms. You don't have to add mushrooms. And then you cut up whatever kind of sausage you like, whether it be kielbasa or brats. I typically do kielbasa. And then you take a packet of the onion powder soup mix, and you mix it up, I think, in 2 cups of water. And you pour that over the top. You can add any other seasonings you want. I usually end up adding garlic. And you set it and you forget it. Did I say green beans?
Yes.
Yes. So then it's like kind of a heartier meal. It's pretty well flavored. I think I add pepper too. And then it's a nice little easy crock pot meal.
Now, with any of these, we are a mild tongue family. We don't like things spicy hot. But there are people that can go all out and intensify the flavors of any of these crock pot dishes with powders or liquids in order to get a heat level in which they're satisfied with.
Yes. And there's also a number of recipes you can make with cream cheese, cream of whatever soup. And not that I'm opposed to those recipes, just that Joey and I are both lactose intolerant.
I fight it.
I don't. So it's hard for us. And I could use, I can eat cottage cheese. So I guess I could probably use cottage cheese if I blended it up. But, yeah, I just...
And with that lactose intolerant thing... There are certain fast food restaurants where you can go and eat ice cream all day long and perfectly fine. And there's other ones where you drive by and you look at the ice cream and bad things happen.
This is true. I can eat some soft serve, and then there's some stuff I just can't eat.
And some of it's so good you just fight it because it's delicious and you know what's going to happen. So you just, that's 2 hours from me. 2 hours later, me, not now me.
Right.
Yeah.
Sad. Happy now, sad later.
Yeah.
In pain later. So potato soup, this is typically like a creamy potato soup situation, but you can, like, I've made stuff with cashew milk instead of like heavy cream, and it does taste very similar. So
what is the purpose? What is the purpose of the milk? Is it a binding agent?
It's just to make it creamy.
Make it creamy, but in certain applications, like you were talking about the nut milk, it's not as creamy, but it doesn't negatively affect the dish.
The taste.
Right.
Yeah. Some milk alternatives are sweeter. Like, to me, oat milk and almond milk have a natural sweetness to them, but the cashew milk doesn't have that sweetness. And I've even used, like, I don't know, what was it, like some sort of pea protein milk. It's the same thing. So you want to definitely, swap things out as best as you can if you choose to. I just thought of something. Yeah. For crockpot, it's called Mississippi pot roast, and this is very popular nowadays. And people use either a roast. Some people have used chicken.
Would a turkey work?
Sure.
I mean, there's a certain point where any swaptation of ingredients, as long as
but you don't want to put a whole turkey in there. You would want to use like the turkey breast,
right,
or something.
A smaller turkey, 8 to 10 pound turkey.
And what you do is you take the cut of meat, and you want probably about 2 pounds. You take that meat, you put it in there, and then you take a ranch seasoning packet. And if you can find low sodium, that would be best. You take a ranch seasoning packet and then a gravy or au jus seasoning packet, and you dump that on there. And then you take whatever kind of peppers you want, jarred peppers. Most people use like the sweet banana peppers, but some people do use hot peppers. And then you dump that in there with all the juice, and then you put a stick of butter on top. And you let it go, and it tastes so good and so rich, but it is very salty because of the seasoning packets. So I try to look for the low sodium ones when we do this.
So with any of these crockpot dishes, is it, you say set it and walk away, set it, forget it. There's no needing to mix or stir until the time has elapsed in which it's time to serve, and then you would combine whatever ingredients that haven't got combined. And
for the most part, yeah. You would have to definitely read the directions and make sure that it's not something where you have to stir it every hour on the hour. I prefer, crockpots work best when you don't keep opening the lid. Yeah. So most of them don't require the stirring part. Joey, summer's winding down, but just because it's fall, we don't want to forget about our yards and those Japanese beetles and other grubs. They may now be hidden, but they're not far. Not only did the beetles feast on your roses and berries this summer, they laid eggs in your turf so that they can invade your yard again next year. Fight back with Phylum's Grub Gone. Grub Gone is a non-chemical BT granule that applied to lawns and specifically targets scarab pests and their larvae with an 80% plus control even in the fall.
Holly, did you know that Grub Gone is the only non-chemical choice that effectively controls grubs? And when you combine it with the best chemical grub control at very low amounts, BioAdvanced grub control products, the tough-to-kill fall-season grubs, are hit with a 1-2 punch that kills them at the best rate tested, nearly 100%. This combo of the best of biology and chemistry is called IPM, Integrated Pest Management, which is the best industry practice. Mix 1.25 pounds of each per 1,000 square feet equals 100% control. Grub Gone from Phylum Bioproducts, the best combination of safety and performance. When we return, hang out with us. Marcus Bridgewater, author, will be with us. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
4-Jar Canning Supply, your one-stop shop for all your canning needs, where old ways meet new in every jar. They are a family with decades of home canning experience, offering top-quality products and outstanding service. Never run out of canning lids again. Whether you're a seasoned canner or just starting out, their extensive range of canning products will elevate your canning game. 4jars.com. Inspired by the homemade preserves of our childhoods, they want to share that same joy with you. They deeply care about your family's health and understand the importance of homemade, nutritious meals. That's why they offer high-quality products to help you preserve your food. Quality canning lids, pressure canners, vacuum seal machines, and all the tools you need to get the job done. 4 Jars has you covered. Our canning lids provide the perfect airtight seal for any regular, wide, or gym-sized jar. With the thickest lids on the market, they provide long-lasting freshness, up to 18 months, and are rust-resistant, ensuring your preserves stay secure. Use code 4JARS25 to save 10% off your order at 4jars.com. That's FORJARS25 to save 10% off your order at 4jars, FORJARS.com. Check out ivorganics.com. It's America's leading garden product YouTube channel. IV Organic products are innovative, organic, effective, and proudly USA made to help you achieve your best growing season. Use coupon code RADIO10 at checkout and save 10% on your entire order at ivorganics.com. That coupon code again is RADIO10 to save 10% on your order at ivorganics.com. Welcome back to the Garden with Joy and Holly radio show. Thank you for being with us today. Want more information? All those coupon codes and the companies that support us, all of them can be found at our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, underneath the Season 9 tab and Money tab at the top of the page. Well, Holly, let's go to the hotline and bring in our guest for this week.
Marcus Bridgewater is an author, speaker, gardener, and more. He teaches people about personal growth and well-being through plants. Welcome to the program, Marcus.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, not only to educate Holly and myself, but all of our listeners. And I'll start with this. Where did the journey for you begin in gardening and growing plants? Was it something you found later on in life, or was it something that you were kind of born into?
You know, I was very fortunate to be adopted into a family in the countryside of Florida, and it was filled with orange groves and corn rows when I was growing up. You won't find those things there anymore, but that was the backdrop for the nature I was in, and huge amounts of acres of woods that I got to travel in and learn from. Then as I got older, and I traded those beautiful green and brown scapes and the canopies for fluorescent lights and 90-hour work weeks, I found myself in this type of juxtaposition between something I knew I was missing and what I had time for. And I was very fortunate as I bought my first house. My oldest friend's mom, my plant mom, she gifted me a bunch of plants from a nursery she was closing. And I brought those plants home, put them all over my house, and put myself in a new jungle. Unfortunately, before I knew it, I'd killed more than half of those plants, and I sought out to figure out how to keep the rest alive. And that's really where my plant journey took its arc.
Some of the most successful gardeners have admitted to us they've killed at least 1,000 plants before they could even consider themselves decent gardeners.
Add me to that list.
So, your journey of growing plants, how does this coincide for you with your personal growth?
Well, there is a lot to be said about the similarities we share with our plant cousins, but in caring for these plants and learning about how to keep the plants that I had alive, I found something really profound, and it was probably one of the most powerful life lessons I've learned from plants. I can't make them grow, but I can foster the environment where they want to grow, and they're always working on their growth. And I saw myself in that same mirroring, where I'm a reflection and a result of the environments and the people that I have crossed and spent time with. But at the exact same time, I'm also challenged and given the opportunity to challenge myself to work beyond the struggles or any of the adversity I've crossed along the way. And if I get to do that, then I will grow into something really profound. And if I keep growing, I'll put myself in the position to flower which is something to share with my community. And that correlation has continued to run true in my life.
And people can tell you, hey, this is what you need to do, Marcus. Here's the ideal. But unless you decide for yourself, hey, I am going to, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, no. And then, when I realized that I can't make anything grow, but I can foster the environment where things want to grow, it made me a better teacher, a better administrator, a better person, a better son. All of a sudden, I realized the choices I'm making, they are fostering the effect of those who are living in that space. So I should be as conscious as I can and share as much kindness, patience, and positivity if I actually want to promote growth.
And there's a lot of people that try to exit the environment that they're in because they think a different environment is much better. But we're placed in that environment for a specific reason. And when we look back 10, 15 years from now, we'll go, that's the reason I was there, because of this, and this.
This, and this, yes. And that, that ties into this thing. It's like, a lot of people have heard the lesson I've shared, and they're like, oh, it's the environment that I'm in. And I'm like, oh, well, no, there's also that factor I added that, plants are focused on their growth. Are you? A lot of us are distracted, and we don't have the peace, the balance, and the harmony so that we are actually our own peace, balance, and harmony so that we can sustain growth and our well-being. And unfortunately, if we're not doing that, it doesn't matter where we go, we're not going to find the success we actually want.
And you use that word distraction more now than ever before in our lives. Is distraction a thing that is a common occurrence?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have more access to distraction than ever before. And when you consider that in nature, there are so many things to observe, there is more to observe in any set of woods than there are actual shows on Netflix. But you have to be lensing to see it. You have to put yourself in the space. You have to be able to shift your own perception, control one of the most powerful tools we've been given in the universe, our perceptions, so that you can actually open yourself to opportunity and to awareness, to appreciate the minutia and the variance in the woods right next to you. But we don't do that. We're distracted by entertaining ourselves. And the more we do that, the less we actually focus on elements of growth.
And you spoke about growing up in the woods of Florida. When you walk through the woods, yeah, you can see trees and leaves, but when you look and you really look, you can see the fungi and the mushrooms and the moss and the way the tree has fallen and the decay that tree is experiencing, things that common people who don't take time will never notice.
Absolutely. I was just doing a photo shoot, and it was more of a movie shoot, but I had a crew with me, and we were shooting in the nature preserve, and I kept stopping to show things that people just weren't seeing. And one of those beautiful moments was a spider's web, and how many people you see the spider's web, but until you get down on a certain level and let the light hit it, you don't see that there's actually a bubble. The spider has created a circle, a sphere inside the web, which adds for protection and also stability. It's incredible ingenuity. The engineering of it is the highest perfection for force deflection. Is just brilliant, but you would walk right by it and never notice if you don't take time and maybe bend down every now and then to see from a different level, from a different perspective.
That's very true. So one of your books is How to Grow, Nurture Your Garden, Nurture Yourself. Let's talk about it. What can our listeners expect when they pick up a copy? Give us, kind of what it's all about.
Okay, so How to Grow, Nurture Your Garden, Nurture Yourself is a personal growth book written through the lens of the garden. And I like to tell people about the Korean title. It's been translated into Korean, and the Koreans gave it a different title. They called it 16 Life Lessons from Plants, Live Like Slow But Hard Plant. I think that's also a brilliant title and also encompasses quite a bit of the nature of the story of what I'm trying to share. It's a book about my life experiences and how I was able to take those life experiences and turn those challenges into growth. And I'm sharing with you how those same challenges I've also seen mirrored in nature, and how I've learned from both my challenges, but also from nature, about how to maintain a degree of observation, resilience, and persistence so that you can achieve true growth by having a quality peace of mind, balance for your body, and then harmony for your spirit.
Well, you talk about challenges. What is a recent challenge you have faced, and what was the steps that you ever overcame that challenge?
Oh, wow. Well, challenges present themselves all the time, whether it be the water heater breaking and you got to figure out how to troubleshoot amidst a busy schedule and travel to figure out how to get something there, or the challenge is just having a little one who is now entering his toddler phase and is now deciding to say no and mine a lot. And so how do you address the challenges? Well, one of the things that is consistent in every challenge I face, whether it be the water heater or it be entering a new stage of rearing with my son, is to try to maintain my highest standard of being and continue to share kindness, patience, and positivity, which in a nutshell comes down to me making sure I'm always learning and I'm not creating barriers between me and whatever it is. I'm walking away with something that I can take and add to the next challenge. And so that's how I've been able to approach those challenges. And I've been very fortunate that regardless of the scale of challenge, I don't get overwhelmed. I'm blessed that I can see it and take the mountain of lessons I get to carry with me and apply them forward.
With age comes wisdom, and some people have got that figured out. Other people are still learning, and So whenever if you freak out during a situation, that's not helping anybody. You want to try to stay calm and evaluate the situation and make rational decisions in whatever type of situation you're dealing with.
One of the things I like to talk about with people, and I'm very fortunate I get to mentor and educate and speak on this subject in various settings. The importance of this equation. Awareness takes practice, and practice takes persistence. We can't have awareness of the lessons we've learned unless we practice being aware of them and making a point to learn. And that takes a type of persistence that I genuinely think we used to have in our natural exchange, but we have replaced with our phones and convenience.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lack of self-awareness in a lot of people, and I think it is. I think technology is a very helpful tool, but I think it also is a very hurtful or harmful tool to a lot of things, and self-awareness is definitely one of them.
I agree. Well, one of the things I like to tell people is every tool is really powerful, but the moment you stop applying discipline and moderation, regardless of the tool, it becomes a vice, and that is destructive to you and to everyone else. So technology is one of those really powerful tools we've got to be extra conscious of applying discipline and moderation to, or else it is destructive to all.
So you have a toddler, and this is your first child. How has this changed, your personal growth, kind of how you have learned to adapt to things? Potential temperament, etc. And how, maybe how, you thought, I might be this kind of parent, and now you're like, that's not the type of parent I am. How has that all changed for you?
Well, change is an interesting word. I feel like the change is in the fact that I'm a parent now, and I wasn't before. So that's the greatest change. The evolution of my parenting has been a blessing and a half that I've just gotten to learn from. Similar to what I was saying earlier, I'm constantly learning from my son and attempting to learn with him. If it is the change in myself or a change in contrast to what I might have thought And I try to live my life without a degree of expectation so I don't get disappointed. So if it's about a contrast of what I thought could be to what actually is, it would be acknowledging the lack of community and village when it comes to actually rearing him. When I think about growing something in the garden, and even if you look at just the smallest amount of soil, there's so much life in that soil. There's so many things that are stimulating the roots that are actually enabling the stalk to be strong, to produce the leaves so that they can exchange with the universe and learn from the sun and shift how the growth is being done. And so I attempt to nurture that in my son as much as I possibly can. But I find myself in contemplation regularly that we're living in a world where it's so difficult to do such a thing. And we're all doing it right next to each other, but we're not doing it together. And I remember growing up in the countryside, and it was a village. And we knew everyone on the street. We all knew each other. We shared goods and resources. We were far more connected than I see people being today. And it was not just family, it was neighbors, it was community. And so if there's anything that I would say is not as I thought it would be, it is this stark awareness of how little community there is for parents.
So you that's really great observation. You highly enjoy public speaking. Is there a memorable moment while presenting that you will remember forever, or just something that keeps you wanting to continue public speaking?
Oh man, I've had my mom's told me for my whole life that I was gonna be a public speaker and a teacher. And I said, no, Ma, no. And here I sit, a former teacher and administrator, and I speak all the time now as a motivational speaker and an inspirational coach. And I feel very fortunate for that. And I think that one of the most incredible memories I have for such a thing is speaking on stage. The lights are really bright. I can't see all the people. And I make a joke and everyone laughs, and there's more people in the audience than I realize. And in that moment, I realized that it had mattered to me that I was talking to only 3 or 4 people in my mind, but it turned out to be a couple hundred. It was about the message and about the joy of the 3 people that I was picturing in my mind. And so as and so as I crossed some of those people in the lobby and I got to see the joy and the love on their face, it was a truly moving moment that we had all gotten to breathe together and that we'd all gotten to come to the same frequency. And the love was vibrant throughout the room, and several people commented that they felt like I was talking to them, and that was a measure of success in a way, because I felt like I was talking to a small crowd, not just a big one. So I think that's one of the most powerful memories for me, just knowing that people are really listening, and it means a lot to the people who are there to engage.
Exactly. No matter what your message is or how simplistic you think it is, it can impact somebody in a way that you never knew was possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Marcus, we greatly appreciate the time, the knowledge, your information. How can people find out more about you and to get your book and find you online?
You can check out gardenmarcus.com, and you can also type Garden Marcus or Marcus Bridgewater into your preferred search engine. And if you type in See Marcus Grow, How to Grow, or Seasons of Growth by Marcus Bridgewater, you'll see the books are available anywhere books are sold and everywhere books are sold. And that is the easiest way for you to engage in the medium that you prefer.
Well, Marcus, we thank you so much for your time and your wisdom. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you all for having me. Have a great, great rest of your day.
Absolutely. And when we return, it's going to be your garden questions and our garden answers. This is the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
Good garden tools make gardening easier. Wisconsin-made Cobra Head tools simplify weeding, cultivating, digging, and planting. Favorites of professional gardeners, Cobra Head tools are durable, ergonomic, and easy to work with. Visit CobraHead.com and use coupon code SOIL for 10% off your order. David J. Frank, Southeastern Wisconsin's leading landscape company, is a landscaper you need. Their award-winning services include everything from lawn care, landscape maintenance, design, construction, renovation, irrigation, sustainability, and more. Big or small, let the experts at David J. Frank handle the hard work for you. Find out more at davidjfrank.com.
Mantis garden tiller cultivators are the perfect solution for any garden. With their gas-powered 2-cycle or 4-cycle engine, these powerful machines can till 9 or 16 inches of land without you breaking a sweat. And it doesn't stop there. Mantis's optional attachments allow you to aerate, plow, and more with the snap of a finger. Engineered with durability in mind, Mantis tiller cultivators will be your guaranteed garden companion for a long time. You can find more out and details at mantis.com.
A non-selective herbicide that is also USDA Bio-Preferred certified? You bet. Say goodbye to Roundup and hello to No More Weeds by Naturally Green Products. No More Weeds kills weeds with no harsh chemicals and no glyphosate. Safe around pets, No More Weeds has a proprietary sticking agent to use around gardens, pools, decks, patios, anywhere there are weeds. Available online at natgreenproducts.com, Amazon, and Walmart.com. Order yours today. The same great company that brings you no more bugs. Pomona's Universal Pectin is a high-quality pectin that gels reliably with low amounts of any sweetener. If you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll love Pomona's Universal Pectin. Now you can make healthy homemade jams and jellies sweetened to your taste. You can use sugar or honey to sweeten. Pomona's Universal Pectin keeps indefinitely when stored in an airtight container. Easy to use, versatile, and comes with directions and recipes in every box. Find out more and where to buy at PomonaPectin.com. Also available at natural food stores and online.
Welcome back to the Garden with Joey and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. Want to know any more about those coupon codes and the companies that support us? You can find that all out at our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, underneath the Season 9 tab at the top of the page and the Money tab. Hey, it's time for a garden question and answer. Send your questions on over to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Or you can give us a call toll-free, coast-to-coast at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. First time growing beans. I've tried the Three Sisters garden method. It didn't work out very good this year. Really only got beans to be successful. How can I change what I'm doing in order to have a successful Three Sister garden next year?
Okay, well, depends on your soil. So the Three Sisters garden, if people don't know, is when you grow corn, beans, like a runner bean.
Pole bean.
Pole bean, there you go. And not a runner bean, yeah, pole bean. And then you grow squash or pumpkin, some sort of
large leaf squash
to act as ground cover. So the ground cover is the pumpkin, squash, whatever. The corn is supposed to be the pole for the pole beans, and then the beans.
The myth,
yeah.
the myth there is, the beans put nitrogen in the soil for the corn.
Right.
Not true.
Right. So
tremendous amount of energy needs to be utilized for that corn to grow correctly. A lot of fertilizer.
So I was going to say that one of the fail points is probably not enough nitrogen in the soil, and then also if your squash didn't do well, perhaps your corn was planted too close to each other. Not really sure. Maybe not enough water for the squash. Squash is a large feeder of water, but that could be part of the problem. I don't know. What else do you think?
The nutrient value in the soil. Like, is there enough? Is it worth the energy input? Because we did sweet corn many years ago, and we did it strictly for video production to show what it took, and we ended up going like 32, 28, 24 on the fertilizer.
Mixed
a lot of different fertilizers together to get that high level. And we did have phenomenal corn. But whenever you can go to the farmer's market and buy it for a quarter an ear or even 50 cents an ear or a box of 24 for $8, it is not worth my effort. I cannot grow it that cheap.
Right. And that's one thing is I like the idea of the Three Sisters garden, but maybe, nix the corn and then do something where you're growing the pole beans and then you just plant the squash around the base and you put the pole beans on its own trellis. That would be a good idea.
And the answer is, well, if you have all the land, all the acreage in the world, you just plant a whole field of sweet corn. Yeah. Otherwise, there's that, is it worth growing sweet corn in the backyard? Some people say yes, some people say no.
Yeah, and that's, again, as Joy had mentioned, when you can buy it so cheap, whether it be at the grocery store or the farmer's market, and I understand it's something about a sense of accomplishment, which was fun for us for one season.
Mm-hmm. Now, they do make container corn, and this is one of the comments that came in. So many people told me I had to have at least 80 stalks of corn in order to get them to germinate properly. I planted 9, 4 came up and got 6 beautiful ears of corn grown in a container in my backyard. My first time growing corn. There are varieties of corn that is considered quote-unquote container corn that you can get ears. The tassels have pollen that falls on the hairs of the ears, which pollinate and produce the kernels of corn inside of the husk. So it can be done. Your mileage may vary. When can I harvest my Jerusalem artichokes?
So typically this is from late autumn to early winter, so like October, mid to end of October to March. So you will see that the foliage has died back, and typically you want to wait till after a few frosts, if possible. But definitely you want that foliage to die back
after a couple of frosts, before a first hard freeze.
Yes. So that's kind of your window.
And they get sweeter after that freeze. After that first frost. Now, if you want to prolong the harvest, we can take a tip from the Amish. In your Jerusalem artichoke bed, trim down all the stalks to a foot high, and then just mound literally 5-6 feet of leaves over top of your bed. It will chill the soil, but keep it from freezing. And as you want to, you can harvest those Jerusalem artichokes or carrots or parsnips or whatever your root crop is throughout the winter months, and you just rake back the leaves. The ground is not frozen. It is chilled, and you can harvest it out of your outdoor underground refrigerator. Let's see here. I will be planting a good-sized patch of garlic this fall. I believe I should be looking at planting in late October where I'm located. Any suggestions on where to find good garlic, or should I just strictly go online?
So this is kind of depending on where you live. So if you have a farmer's market that you could buy the seed garlic from, or just any organic garlic, you can grow that organic garlic. That's not a problem. You just want to make sure you are choosing nice, healthy looking bulbs. And then you want to choose the biggest cloves from those bulbs to plant. But you want to make sure that that is an organic garlic. And if it's from your local farmer's market, it's going to be favorable to your conditions. or your local ecosystem. If you cannot find that garlic at a farmer's market, you could just do an online search like garlic.
Well, also now there's a lot of little garlic farms in the area, like where we're at. There's probably 3 or 4 that you do a Google search, like you said, and that they plant like 10 different varieties. They have a couple of hundred or maybe 1,000 bulbs, and that's it. And that's all they do all year. And it's beautiful garlic, and it's very unique varieties. And you'll be surprised how close they probably are to where you're at.
Right, and that's something that you can find, and it's worth it to take, maybe if you have to leave work early or something, to go to a Tuesday farmer market or go on your lunch or something. It would be worth the time to
Farmer markets are not just on the weekends.
No, they're not. Sometimes can be frustrating or a point of pain for some people, but it would be like, I would do that. I would take a half day.
And most of these farmers markets, they list the vendors or the farmers online somewhere, so you can actually get a hold of the farmer and go, hey, I can't make it to the farmer's market, but here's what I'm wanting. Can I come out to the farm and buy it from you directly in that manner?
Right.
After I get off work. And
now,
most of these people are going to be like, absolutely.
If you don't have the ability, accessibility, whatever, to find a local farmer, you can certainly buy it online, but it's more favorable to buy it from somebody that's somewhat local. There's local as possible because you know that garlic is going to be more favorable to growing in your ecosystem.
Well, we were out of time, and we thank you for yours. Want to find out all our past shows and catch this one on replay? You can go to our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, underneath the Radio 9 tab at the top of the page. Well, tune into the program next week where we will be discussing true garden facts, as well as garden diseases and potential maintenance on those diseases that you may acquire over the growing season. As well as our guest is Emily Torscher will be with us and will answer your garden questions. So until next week, for
Holly Baird,
I'm Joy Baird, and we will see you in the garden.